Hello, everybody. This is William. Welcome to Junilai and Williams Adventures. We thought we'd take a ride along, and while we're going downtown, running a couple errands, we thought we'd have a little ride and talk. We're riding through Bayswater subdivision headed down to Lapu downtown area, and we just thought we'd talk about a subject today. First of all, welcome to all our subscribers. We appreciate all our followers and subscribers, and we hope that we can continue to bring content that's of value to you. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel as we continue to take you on our further adventures. Thank you. But we wanted to talk about when I first came to the Philippines in 2019, one of the first things that stuck out to me was culture shock. If you've never been to the Philippines before, remember, it's on the other side of the world. It's a 16-hour flight, one way, from New York. If you're coming from the West Coast, it's probably at least a 13 to 15-hour flight, and they'll probably break that flight up. But I went on a one-way flight, and it was 16 hours from the East Coast. And one of the first things that happened when I got off the plane after the 16-hour flight and got off the plane in Manila was that it was so hot when I got off the plane that the heat almost melted me, guys. And the other thing that hit me is that I thought I had stepped into a movie, because when I walked out into the city or the street to hail a cab, it was so hot and the culture was so different that it was literally culture shock. I'd never seen so many motorcycles going down the road in my life. There were what they call jeepneys, which are converted buses that are all colors. There was all kinds of tricycles, which is a motorcycle with a sidecar. And they were all over the place, guys. And it was sort of a culture shock from what we were used to in the West. So I've had a few of my subscribers or our subscribers ask, what should they do? What are some of the things that they should look out for? What are some of the things that they should do? And what are some of the things they shouldn't do if they try to come to the Philippines, whether on vacation or to retire? So let's talk about that in our ride and talk. As you ride along with us, you can observe and see the kind of things that we see. But as you notice, the Philippines is a developing country. So don't expect that it's going to be the U.S., guys. One of the things that, a lot of people don't know is that it's very hard to just pull up into somewhere when you're going around and use a bathroom, guys. They call the bathroom over here a CR or comfort room. But not everywhere has a bathroom like in the U.S. There's not a Wawa to run in or something like that. There's not like a little convenience store that you can run in. You have to really find like certain gas stations to go to the bathroom, guys. So that's number one. But it's culture shock in the fact that, your eyes are going to be overloaded with things that you've never seen. The Philippines is an English-speaking country. Everything's written in English, but yet there's so many different dialects that the people speak. The culture is so different that, remember, that they still sometimes don't understand what we as foreigners are saying. And that's what we're called here in the Philippines. If you're not a Filipino, you're a foreigner. Doesn't matter whether you're from Europe, whether you're from Korea, whether you're from the U.S. or England, it's you're a foreigner. You're either a Filipina or a Filipino, or you're a foreigner. So we as foreigners are welcome here. And a lot of times, the only way that they know that you're a nice person is by how you act. They don't have a lot to go on. Some people never met too many foreigners, depending on what part of the Philippines that you go to. So remember, it's a different culture. Remember that they are very welcoming. They're very friendly. They realize that you being a tourist means money to them. The Philippines government and the people love tourism here. It's one of the things that creates a lot of jobs here. So you're going to be welcome here. because tourists mean jobs. Jobs means that there's money for their family. Remember, the income level in the Philippines is much different than the income level in the U.S. So remember, they don't make a lot of money. So tourism money is very valuable here. But there's going to be a culture shock, guys. There's going to be a difference in the way that people perceive you and the way that you perceive others. Remember, if you're in an LDR, if you're in a long distance relationship and you're coming to the Philippines to meet the person you've been talking to for 3 months, 6 months, a year for the first time, she might be from the province. Maybe she's never been to the city, which is like Cebu City or Manila or any of the Lapu-Lapu city or any of the bigger cities. So she may be coming to meet you, and she hasn't been around a lot of places herself. So remember that this culture is different, guys. It's a different culture. And so if you're coming over, it's hot. It's 80 to 90 degrees all the time. There's only 2 seasons here, the wet season and the dry season. So in the wet season, it rains, but even after it rains, it's sort of like Florida. It may pour down rain for an hour or a half an hour, and then it'll go back to being 90 degrees. So one of the things that I've learned when I came over in 2019 is that if you're coming over for 3 weeks to a month, you don't need any long clothes, guys. You need shorts, you need short sleeve shirts, hopefully lighter shirts that are lighter in color, because it's very hot. If you've ever been to New Orleans in the summer, sort of like that, the humidity level is very high. Because remember that in the Philippines, it's very humid. It's an island nation. So it's made up of islands. It's surrounded by water. So you'll know that it's going to be very humid. It's going to be a humid place. So what do I need to know about the Philippines? What's some of the things I need to know? You need to know that you need to exchange the money before you come or in the airport. That's something that you should do. Remember that a lot of people say, well, what about the dangers? Pickpocketing is a danger in the Philippines. A lot of kids will come up to you. Remember, poverty is real here, guys. Kids will come up and ask for money. Poverty's real. We have poverty in the United States, but poverty is really even more prevalent here. And when I say poverty, I mean there's no safety nets, guys. If you don't have anything to eat, there's nothing. There's nothing. So you're going to see a lot of people, a lot of kids that will come up to you. And you have to be prepared for that if a crowd of kids comes around you, that they're not going to stick their hands in your pockets. So remember, if you've been in that LDR and you have a relationship online with the girl that you're coming to meet, that's going to be an asset for you. It's going to be an asset because she's going to know where to go and where not to go. So that's one of the things, but you will face culture shock, guys. It's not the United States. There'll be long lines in supermarkets, long lines if you're getting ready to go on a ferry or you're going on the bus. It's going to be crowded. There's a lot of people in the Philippines, guys. Even though it's not a lot of area, there's millions and millions of people. There are beautiful beaches. There are beautiful beaches in the area of Cebu, in Davao, in Mindanao, the different places that you could go. But in Cebu, we live here in Lapu-Lapu City, and the airport is 5 miles away. Remember that they have typhoons in the Philippines. They have earthquakes, and there's a lot of natural disasters. So one of the things that when I studied coming to the Philippines and I did my research, I realized that if you live within 5 miles of an airport, that's probably going to be one of the safer zones, because if the infrastructure goes down, the government is going to make sure that the airport area is up and running first. So you want to make sure that you're not living in a flood zone. So that was one of the things that we made sure, and my wife understood that, so she made sure that we got into a subdivision that was not in a flood zone. So that's one of the things that you want to make sure of, guys, is that you're not going to be staying your 3 weeks or your month or 2 months in a flood zone. Also, for all subscribers that are talking about retirement and you were going to sell your house or you were going to sell your car and everything and you were going to move to the Philippines, my advice would be to come on an exploratory trip first. Come to the Philippines for a couple months. Come to the Philippines and see first before you sell everything. Because what if you sold everything and you came for your first time to the Philippines and you couldn't take the heat, you couldn't take the food, you couldn't deal with the culture or the patience that it takes to wait in line? Remember, guys, it's in a developing country. There are a lot of good things here, like the Filipino culture, the people. It's a Catholic nation, which means that most of the people here believe in God. There are Muslims here, but there's many more Catholics here than there is Muslims. We're entering our subdivision now. This is called Bayswater Subdivision. This is where we live. It's in Lapu City. It's a development of townhouses. The good thing is that it's not in a flood zone. It's a gated community, guys. And the rents in here in these 2 and 3 bedroom townhouses with 2 baths is from $400 down to around $200. You can see that it's guarded. It's very secure. It's very safe. We like living here because it's close to the airport. And because it's close to the airport, we can go anywhere to any of the beach areas from here. We can get on a plane that we go to the airport, and within an hour, we'll be in any of the beach areas that we would like to go to, or even Manila within an hour if we chose to go to Manila. So, guys, remember, there's going to be culture shock when you come to the Philippines because it's a developing country. Yet there's going to be a warm and friendly atmosphere. You're going to be welcome here. And the way that you treat the people, they're going to treat you. Remember, they're as curious about you as you are about them. But they welcome tourists because tourists mean revenue. Tourists mean jobs. But I've found out that as you go around and you meet different people, each island is different. Each culture on each island has its own unique kind of culture. The foods are different, but it also is an acquired taste. You have to get used to it. There's lots of fruits, lots of barbecue, lots of rotisserie food. And of course, because these are all islands, the seafood is fantastic here. If you're a seafood lover, you are going to love the Philippines. But remember, guys, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, because we're going to be taking you on these riding talks and our walking talks and show you the culture as we see it. A lot of our subscribers have said, why don't you go around, William and Junior Lai, and show us the Philippines. So that's what we're going to be doing, guys. So continue to follow us on Junior Lai and Williams Adventures. And remember, be aware that the culture is different. You're going to enjoy the difference in the culture. But remember, as we always say, be good to yourself and enjoy every day, because tomorrow's not promised. And every day that you wake up is a blessing. And here at Junior Lai and Williams Adventures, we're going to continue to take you with us when we go, when we fly places and go places. In a few months, we're going to be going to an island called Camotes Island, and we're going to be taking you with us. But we'll be getting back to you soon with some more adventures. And this is William saying we'll see you next time, guys, at William and Junior Lai's Adventures. We're pulling up to our townhouse now, so we'll be seeing you soon. Hope you enjoyed this ride and talk. See you guys.